Okay, good evening, teacher. We are group number 4. Uh, we are gonna present SPIRUBITES. That is a product that we are gonna export to Japan. The group members are Fernando Castro, Elena Gamarra, Franco Elisa, y Karina Terrazas. Okay, the product that we're gonna export is SPIRUBITES. That is a spirulina cookie with chia flavor. It is made by spirulina flour, and it has nutritional properties against anemia and provides more protein even than regular meat. Also helps to generate antibodies and provides energy. It comes in a package of 4 cookies. It The price is $1 USD in FOB price. Our sales channel is gonna be retail. That is gonna be 7-Eleven in Japan. Why we choose Japan? We choose Japan due to its high consumption rates for seaweed and related products. Also, there is a increase in the tendency to eat healthier in developed countries due to they seek well-being. Another important point is the Peru-Japan FTA that grants tariff benefits and also ease of market access. The last point that I consider very important is due to the COVID-19 pandemic has made people become even more aware of their health and the effort to mitigate some type of disease or any event that puts their health in risk. Okay, as I said, 7-Eleven is going to be our buyer in Japan. 7-Eleven have around 67,048 480 stores worldwide, and the 31% are located in Japan. In addition, they have large stores and as well as online stores, which contributes to reaching or being closer to the consumers in a practical and fast way. And this is very important nowadays due to the COVID-19. Okay, profitability analysis. There is a forecast of 4 years sales projection. As you can see, there is a total invest of $170,300, and the projection for sales is 5% each year. It will end up a tier of 42% and a van of $92,338. That it will show that it's a very profitable project. Logistics to export. We're gonna use FOB in Qatar because 3 main reasons: a lower tariff, more capacity to transport large volumes, and good for entry in new markets. The benefit for the seller is the seller will only be responsible until the merchandise is loaded on board the ship at the port of origin. After that, all their costs and risks are transferred to the buyer. What is the benefit for the buyer? They will have control on freight and control on the costs and risks. There is all the costing for export. As you can see from export to FOB, the FOB limit is going to be $288,880, and with a profit margin of 36.7%. And it would end up FOB unit price of $1. Why 288,000 package? It is because it's what it fits in one container or in one container. Okay, mean of payments. There is 4 types of mean of payments. The first one is open account. That is a type of credit extended by the seller to the buyer that permits that the buyer makes purchase without a note or security, and this is based on evaluation of the buyer credit. What is the convenience about this? This is the least safe method of payment for the exporter, and it can only be made if there is a full confidence between the exporter and the importer. The second one is letter of credit or LC. It is a document from a bank in one location that requests that anyone or a specifically named party advance money or items on a credit to the party holding or naming in a document. The average cost is around 0.25 to 2% of the total amount. And the convenience is that it eliminates the applicant credit risk because the issuing bank assumes it. About payment in advance. Is made before the shipment is made. Trust is made advance capital under an express power to the beneficiary who has a best or contingent interest in the capital to the trust. The convenience about it is that this option is the safest for the exporter, but it is also the most unavailable in competitive markets. The last one is documentary collection, and the exporter presents the appropriate documents to a bank in his country, which forwards them to a bank in the importer's country. Documentary collection for standard transactions costs on average no more. Uh, and the convenience about it, it is not as safe as a letter of credit for the exported, but it is significantly cheaper. The seller must be willing to take the risk that the importer could not pay or accept the documents.
Okay, now about the application for LC, in this case, the revocable documentary credit application. We're going to mention the most important parts. First, we have the date and place of expiry. In this case, it's 28th of November of this year. Also, we put the applicant name, the account number, also the address. Also, another important factor is the payment terms. In this case, site payment. Also, we mentioned, as my partner mentioned, the shipment terms. In this case, are FOB. Next, please. In this case, also we have the transport documents. In this case, we select full. And another important factor is the other documents are packing list in and weight certificate in. Next. And finally, we have the overseas banks charges. In this case, all bank charges outside Peru are for the account of the beneficiary. And finally, in the confirmation, we select not required. Now we have the Swiss message. In this case, this is a format used to send messages to financial institutions on the SWIFT, the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. In this case, the sender is Scotiabank, and the receiver is the Credit Suisse in Tokyo, Japan. Uh, One of the most important things is that also we put in here the form of the documentary credit are irrevocable. Also, we put the directions. Another important part is the currency mode. In this case, we use in US dollars. Also, we mention the port. In this case, is Tokyo Port in Japan, and the port of discharge is Callao, Peru. Next. Also, in this part, we mention another important thing that is confirmation instructions similar to the LC. In this case, we put without, and also we put another thing that is important, that is the direction of the company, of our company. Next. Then we have the proposed scenario requesting a loan. We found amortizations in the Scotiabank site, that is a calculator. So we select that for our price is to be $5,000. Next, please. So according to amortizations schedule Scotiabank, the loan amount is $5,447 on a credit term that is 18 months, and the annual effective rate is 25%, and also the annual effective cost rate is 30.63%, and also about the double fee is no, and the grace period is no. Then we have our own amortization schedule. In this case, we put the same number, and the results were a little bit different. Next. So our results in our own amortization schedule were that the loan amount are $15,000. The total to pay is $16,527.93. Also, the total interest is $1,527. And also the credit term is similar to the other one that is 18 months. And the annual effective rate in this case changes to 12.5%. And also the double fee and the grace period are no. Making the comparative between those, we can see that in addition to this, following the same trend of the use of installment 18 months, the final result is to pay a total of $2,941 of interest added with amortization of the installments, resulting in $15,447. And on the other hand, in the gallery itself, the amortization and installment that we pay during the loan period will be $918.22, with an effective annual rate of 12.5%, which at the end of the payment of the last installment. Also, this reflects a total of $1,527 for the total interest, adding the amortization of the installments give us a result that is $16,527.93. So our conclusion in this comparative is that according with this comparative, the company is able to pay the loan in both cases because the company is able to pay the fee since the average monthly income will be higher than this. Also, we have the five C's of creditworthiness. First, we have the capacity. In this case, at this stage, we have had a considerable amount of sales. So we have a protection that ensures that we will be able to pay off the debt. Also, in the factor of character, we have the SPIRUBITES. We have the economic capacity to pay the debt. It has a consign that there is any of the shareholders to cover the debt. Also, in the factor of collateral, the lending bank can investigate the applicant about his credit history to be sure of the financial stability he has. And also in the capital, the loan is influenced by the resources that the applicant has embedded in the project. And finally, in the conditions, in our case, if we ask the bank for a loan for importation, they can ask us for a guarantee, then can be a car or some property. In this case, the risks of default can be avoided.
Okay. Um, can we use a line of credit? Well, first of all, a line of credit is an operation that is materialized through a policy formalized before a notary public, through which the financial institution undertakes to make a specific amount of money available to the clients during a pre-established period, which usually range from 6 months to a year. The advantages of a line of credit are the flexibility, immediacy, and comfort. And we consider that it will be a good idea. We can use a line of credit as suppliers of Spirulina cookies. It will be a great choice. Also considering that we can borrow an amount of money with immediacy that we need for our first operations, since we are a just started company and we need capital for the production process and packaging according to the country of destination, in this case Japan. And also we have 1 year of operational time, so we are still a new brand, a new company, and we can apply a startup line of credit. Next, please. Should a joint venture be used? Well, first of all, a joint venture are companies that are formed as a result of an agreement between two or more companies. In this case, we and our partner 7-Eleven. And well, this joint venture requires a large investment, but the advantages of this are that we could have a greatest competitiveness. We can have risk minimization, taking advantage of synergies, and we can have access to new markets, in this case, all Asia. And also we have the same goods and the same objectives. So we consider that it will be a good idea to have a joint venture for our operations in Japan. Also, thanks to our partner, that is convenience stores all around the country, that has a great reputation worldwide, and we can have knowledge of the local markets and the ability to have our products all around the country. As I said, 7-Eleven has a great presence in Japanese territory, so it's being the best known convenience store in the country, and it offers a variety of products. And also it has a section that is called like salutable products. So our product will be there and it could have access to all the consumers. Next, please. Should a leasing be used? Well, first of all, a leasing or financial leasing is a figure that consists of a financial entity acquiring a good in its own name to lease in the minimum of long term to the requesting client. At the end of the lease term, the user decides where to buy the good. And if you renew the contract, on the contrary, so you return it to the financial institute. We don't consider it will be a good idea. Considering the alternatives that I mentioned before, we thought that it will be enough the the alternative that I mentioned to cover the expenses like production process and financial packaging according to all the terms that are placed in Japan. So likewise, this alternative is out of our long-term budget, so it will be difficult to comply with the terms of the contract, so we don't consider it will be a good idea. Next, please. Should a escrow be used? Well, escrow account, also called a trust or escrow account or in guarantee, is a mechanism used in a sale to ensure that the payment reaches to the seller and the good or service does the same with the buyer. We don't consider it will be a good idea for us using this guarantee deposit. It's not a recommended option, considering that the money that we need remains in custody or deposit until the operation uh, originates the payment. So we, in all our transactions that we will take place in the future, the money will be retained until until the next step of this process. So, but we need something fast. So this will be not good for the company, and we need immediacy. So in all our operations, so we don't think this will be a good idea. Next, please.
Okay, financial arbitrage consists of a short-term strategy that seeks to take advantage of the price difference between different markets in relation to a financial asset to have an economic benefit, usually without risk. The arbitrator sells in the market with the highest price and buys in the market while the lowest price at the same time, and the benefit will be given by the difference in different prices both markets. The more efficient a market is, the more complex is to realize arbitrage, as it takes advantage of pricing. Arbitrage can be used in markets located in different places in a different types of markets. Arbitrage helps the market since it generates an increase in supply by offering products at a higher price, and this causes the price to decrease. Okay, is there an opportunity for arbitrage? Yes, financial arbitrage can be performed, but it would not be the best option since significant financial resources are needed to identify these opportunities in the real time and be able to carry out operation. This activity is more related to the currency market, and we as a company are still new to the market, so we do not have that monetary capacity. Next, please. Okay, is there another instrument or convenient for the project? In this case, we propose bill of exchange. The bill of exchange is a commercial document that is generally used by a seller to guarantee payment of the said made. Through the bill of exchange, the seller can financial his clients with a guarantee that he will collect the money on that due date. Okay, the benefits are the company will receive the payment in advance, facilitate financial faster, and the person in charge of collection the invoice is a specific bank. And next, please. Okay, in this case, the project is sustainable. Yes, and the reason is that the massive consumption of spirulina does not represent a risk to the biodiversity, since nowadays more and more countries are producing this in the large in big quantities, which is why it is a possibility to produce more than 1,000 metric tons annually, where the United States and China, they are the world leaders, following by countries like Thai and Japan, sorry. This is because it has a nutritional profile, since can treat health problems. It has viral properties, and it allows antibodies to be generated. The microorganism grows by capturing CO2 and produce O2, this same oxygen that we breathe today. It's on a part of family of microorganisms to which spirulina belongs. The accumulation of oxygen in billions of years ago has allowed the creation of the ozone layer, which has allowed the development of the life. Okay. The cultivation of spirulina does not require the contribution of chemical harmful to the environment, such as pesticides, insecticides, and others. It's a living being, more not genetically modified by humans. The way in which it is consumed is complete too, so there are not ways. All its provide value nutrients to the body. And next, please. Okay, finally, the emergency of the COVID-19 has stopped the world. We understand that his health problem has had an unexpected impact on the companies in all the sectors. Increasing support for governments and various companies can help in the fight against that highly dangerous virus. There are some industries that are struggling and others are growing. In general, it's assumed that allows all the sectors will be affected for the pandemic. Consideration, first, we have examined and determined the market size of the global spirulina COVID-19 pandemic market, analyze and forecast the global spirulina in this situation market industry based on product potential type. Recognize the global spirulina market drivers and the new challenge. Investigate competitive develops such as mergers and acquisition contracts or new collaborations. And recognize and analyze the profile of the leading players operating in the pandemic market on global spirulina. Next, please.
Okay, the conclusions about our project. The first conclusion is that the Japanese market is a great opportunity for the commercialization of our product due to the high consumption of products made from seaweed, such as nori seaweed, or as in the case of our product based on spirulina algae. The second conclusion is that it's an excellent choice to do a joint venture. Consider that we can borrow an amount of money that we can we can need for our first operations. The last conclusion is the export operation will require a mean of payment. After analyzing and comparing both costs and advantage and disadvantage, we decide that the best fitting mean of list of payment was the irrevocable confirming LC.
Well, the recommendations that we come to, it is recommended after 18 months of having completed the loan payment, renting a space for a warehouse where we could have more stock for future sales. And also it is recommended to look for other means of payments as we grow in the future. Well, the solidification of business partners and trust will open new possibilities that could increase the competitiveness of the company. Thanks.